The first chapter introduces what management information systems is. From a socio-technical perspective, management information systems is all about the interaction between people and technology in organizations. In this chapter, we'll learn what is information systems and what is information technology. What's the main difference between these two concepts? We'll also learn how does IT impact organizations and how does IT impact us and our jobs. For example, how IT changes our jobs and will IT eliminate some of the jobs? First, let's take a look at what is information systems and what is information technology, and what are the main information systems components and capabilities. In Latin, information is called informare, which means to give shape or form. Basically, information systems help us to convert the input into the output. We capture or collect raw data resources as the input and process the input by converting raw input into a more appropriate and usable form. We then transfer this processed information to the people or activities that will use it. That is the output of information systems. Here is an example. In the spring semester, I asked students who took this course to let me know how many hours they can spend in this course. So they completed a survey at the beginning of the course. We can see the raw data from the survey, which is a bunch of numbers with no meaning. I then processed the data by giving the data column a name as hours and calculated minimum, maximum, and average value. And the output is minimum hour is 1 hour, maximum hour is 12 hour, and the average is 5.09 hour. That is to say, on average, the students are willing to spend about 5 hours on this course. By the way, I think you may need to spend about 6 to 8 hours per week for this course. Okay, let's move on and take a look at what is data, information, and knowledge hierarchy. Data items refers to elementary description of things, events, activities, and transactions that are recorded, classified, and stored but not organized to convey any specific meaning. Data items are bits of information such as the figure on the right-hand side of the slide. These data are not organized, and you do not know the meaning of the data. Our brains absorb data all the time. For example, you are absorbing the data in the format of sound waves now. Information refers to data that have been organized so that they have meaning and value to the people who are receiving the data. Knowledge consists data and or information that have been organized and processed to convey understanding, experience, accumulated learning, and expertise as they apply to a current problem or activity. We can use the figure on the right-hand side as an example. Data are the dots without any color, just the circles scattered in the space. Information are the colorful dots, and each color has its specific meaning. If we can connect different pieces of information, We then acquire knowledge. Here is an example. It is related to my current research. I have a dataset that has the patient's demographic data, admission data. For example, what's the patient's primary diagnosis? What are the comorbidities? So on and so forth. Suppose I have more than 1 million patients' data across 5 years. I can process the data into information by linking each patient's admission data throughout the years. So I have all the patient's clinical information and what's the patient's health condition when admitted or readmitted to the hospital throughout the 5 years. Later, I can turn the information into knowledge using predictive analysis models. By doing so, I will be able to predict a patient's next admission time and the patient's health status when readmitted. For example, whether it is a minor or major disease. And this model can be used to solve future readmission problems in the healthcare settings. Now let's take a look at the definition of information systems from our textbook, which is information systems collects, processes, stores, analyzes, and disseminates information for a specific purpose. The specific purpose can be predict readmission risk from my previous example. Now we come to the definition of a computer-based information system. Basically, a computer-based information system is using computers to process data. A computer-based information system is an information system that uses computer technology to perform some or all of its intended tasks, and it contains hardware, software, database, network, procedures, and people. One thing we need to pay attention here is hardware, software, database, and network are the information technology components. A computer-based information systems needs procedure and people to make these technology components work. We need to know the definition of procedures and people here. Procedures are the instructions for combining hardware, software, database, network to process information and generate the desired output. People are those individuals who use the hardware and software, interface with it, or utilize its output. This slide shows some current changes or development of hardware. Nowadays, we have faster computers and smaller footprints. Footprint is a term that used to describe how much space is occupied by an object. So, smaller footprints means smaller amount of space. We also experience some changes on input devices. Keyboard and mouse are not our only input device options anymore. We have sensors and chips, RFID or QR code as input source. There are also some changes in storage hardware. We can store our data in SSD, which is internal solid-state drive. SSD provides us better performance and reliability than normal drive. We can also store our data over the cloud. There is some development in display technology as well. For example, we have curved and paper-thin displays these days. Software is a collection of data or computer instructions that tell the computer how to work. Both application programs and operating system are software. Typical operating system includes Microsoft Windows, Mac iOS, and Google Android. Application programs are executed by operating systems. For example, Word document and Excel files need to run by Windows or iOS. This figure shows the layers of hardware and software on top of each other. Hardware is the physical device. Operating systems is on top of hardware. Application programs are on top of operating system. Users like us are using application programs. Network made the applications and hardware power multifold because of the connections. A network is a connecting system that enables multiple computers to share resources. We are now moving to intelligent network that can connect everything. Intelligent network also supports mobile telecommunication. A database is a collection of related files or tables containing data. We have database for the entire company or for each department or functional area. For example, database for the sales department. Okay, now let's take a look at the definition of IT. IT refers to any computer-based tool that people use to work with information and to support the information and information processing needs of an organization. Okay, here is the question. What is the difference between IT and IS, between information technology and information systems? Remember, information systems has 6 components. Only 4 of them belongs to IT, which are hardware, database, software, and network. Next, we will discuss different types of information systems. First, let's take a look at information systems inside an organization. This figure shows how different components are integrated to form the wide variety of information systems foundation within an organization. From the bottom, we can see the IT components of hardware, software, networks, and datasets form the information technology platform. IT personnel use these IT components to develop information systems, oversee security and risk, and manage data. These activities cumulatively are called information technology services. The IT components plus IT personnel, IT services comprise the information technology infrastructure. At the top of the pyramid are the various organizational information systems, including transaction processing systems, enterprise resource planning systems, functional area information systems such as accounting information system and marketing information system. And at the very top of the pyramid, we have business intelligence systems. We also have information systems among organizations, such as customer relationship management system that connects your organization with your customers, and supply chain management systems that connect your organization with your suppliers. This slide shows the capabilities of information systems, including information system performs high-speed, high-volume numerical computations, provide fast, accurate communication and collaboration within and among organizations, store huge amount of information in small space, allow quick, inexpensive access to vast amounts of information worldwide, interpret vast amounts of data quickly and efficiently, increase effectiveness and efficiency of people working in groups in one place or around the world. Automate semi-automatic business process and manual tasks. Okay, the last one that is very important, which is information systems can bring fundamental changes to the business processes. We'll talk about how information can change the business processes in the next chapter, chapter 2. We will introduce how information systems support for parts of the organization, and interorganization in the following 3 slides. In this slide, we will introduce information systems that support parts of organizations, which is called functional area information systems. For example, in the finance and accounting departments, managers can use information systems to forecast revenues and business activities. In the sales and marketing department, managers can use information systems to perform product analysis, to develop new products or services, to perform site analysis to determine the best location for production and distribution facilities, and to perform price analysis for setting product prices to obtain the highest total revenues. One example of site analysis is, after analyzing sales data, researchers found young fathers tend to make a late-night run to the store to pick up diapers and beers at the same time. As a result, if 2 items are located as far as they can, these young fathers need to go through the entire store to buy these 2 items. Through this process, they may pick up other items from the store, which will increase the sales. In the previous slide, we introduced how information systems support for parts of the organization. Here, we introduce 2 information systems that support the entire organization, which are Enterprise Resource Planning, or ERP systems, and Transaction Processing Systems, or TPS. Enterprise Resource Planning systems enable the systems for the functional areas to communicate with each other. Transaction Processing systems support the real-time monitoring, collection, storage, and processing of data from the organization's day-to-day operations. ERP are usually TPS because ERP needs to process and analyze data in the real time, but not all TPS are ERP. We also have interorganizational information systems that support interorganizational operations, such as supply chain management systems that connect supplier and manufacturer, and e-commerce systems that connects organization and organization, and customer relationship management system that connects your organization and your customers. Information systems also support particular employees within the organization. For example, business intelligence systems can support middle managers and knowledge workers to solve complex business problems and make non-routine decisions. Expert systems attempt to duplicate the work of human experts and solve complex issues by applying knowledge and expertise within a specific domain. Dashboards present structured and summarized information about aspects of business, which information is important to executives. Okay, let's come back to think about this question. What is an information system? An information system includes three parts: business, IT, and management. We'll go through every single part throughout the semester. For the business part, we'll discuss organizational strategy in Chapter 2, e-business and e-commerce in Chapter 7, and social computing in Chapter 9. For the IT part, we will discuss information security in Chapter 4, database in Chapter 5, telecommunications and networking in Chapter 6, wireless, mobile computing, and mobile commerce in Chapter 8. For the management part, we will discuss ethics and privacy in Chapter 3 and knowledge management in Chapter 5. Information systems within the organization in Chapter 10, customer relationship management and supply chain management in Chapter 11. Lastly, we'll learn business analytics and business intelligence, which includes the IT, business, and management perspectives. Okay, here is what we'll learn in this semester. After this course, you will have a deep understanding of information systems and how to use information systems to solve business problems. Okay, by far, we discussed IS and IT definition, components, and capabilities. I will leave you two sets of questions to think about at the end of the chapter. First, how does IT impact organizations in different industries, such as book industry, video games industry, and music industry? Second, how does IT impact us and our jobs? Will IT eliminate jobs? If so, what are the jobs can be eliminated by IT? And will IT provide new opportunities for us? You will have a chance to answer the above questions in Quiz 1.